All right. Well, you guys asked for it. A tougher custom, or a custom with a little bit more, you know, complexity to it. I've been wanting to do, and you may ask why I'm doing this to a still picture. Well, we'll get into the more tinkering around with it in a minute, and you'll have a video there. But I've always wanted to do a custom Punisher to my level. And one of the things that I saw with the Crossbones body is I could do that. But in order to do that, I'm going to have to make those soft good pants fit. And one of the things is that particular set of legs that Crossbones has is way too thick for a lot of pants that are sold on the secondary market, soft good pants, to fit through. They're ginormous. But one of the things I did have was a lot of fodder laying about. And one of those happens to be Brother Voodoo. Brother Voodoo's hip joints fit neatly into the socket that he has. So I popped off Brother Voodoo's legs, and I wanted to use the boots. The problem is when you take off Brother Voodoo's calf muscle there, it's a different leg. It's a different joint or different adapter or different connective point than what we have with the Crossbones connection with the boot. So we're going to have to use a little something called Kneatonite to make that work, or green stuff. And no 3D printing involved here. Let's get to work, and I'll show you what I did with it. Now what you want to do is take that and wrap it around that, now that you've oiled this up a little bit, because we're going to get an inverse mold here. And then we'll go from there. Now when you're done, this is kind of what you're going to want it to look like. You want to capture, make sure that you've got that inside of the piece captured. Because what we're going to do is we're going to eventually just shape that out and insert it into the boot. And then because you want to keep that mobility and you want to keep that articulation. So once we're done, that hardens. What we're going to do next is we're going to, well, you'll see. We're going to pop this off. We're going to insert it into the boot, and then we're going to put it back on here. It's an adapter. All right, next step, what you got to do, now that it's hardened, and we've created basically a cold casting of this plastic. This is hardened into a plastic now. You need to get this cold cast to fit in here. Because remember, these two are different, right? You have that little thin one here, and then you have this little giant bulk monster over here. So how are we gonna do that? Well, in order to get that cold casting in here, you're gonna have to Dremel out some room. So let's shut up and get to Dremeling. All right, so there we go. We've made some room in there for this guy here. We're gonna have to, again, whittle this down a little bit, put this in there. The boot, the important part is that both of these legs measure the same height, or else you're gonna get, it's gonna stand weird. So we're gonna have to just make sure that these legs measure the same height, and we'll work on whittling this down and fitting in here. You don't want to go too far past that bottom out there, because then you'll start interfering with this this joint here, and you don't really want to mess with that. You just want to make sure there's some room in there to fit that cup, and then we'll go in there. All right, so here we have the boot on the leg. It's not fully fitted yet. I'll get that done, but you can push that on there. Once it's on there, I'm going to just super glue to the outside. The outside of that adapter to the inside of this boot. And so here's the leg piece of it. Then let me show you the inside of it. See, it still freely moves on its own. It's still hugging that. So we've created that joint there, and it's fine. So anyways, yeah, we're going to do the same thing to the other leg, and we're going to go from there. All right, collectors, I hope you've enjoyed that little bit of a walkthrough that I did. Yeah, let's go through let's just start off with this. Ever since I saw this guy, this guy's buck, from this guy to that guy, huh? What a way. Anyways, ever since I saw Crossbones' buck. I was like, oh man, I bet I could make a wonderful custom out of that. And I think I did. I haven't had this much fun making a custom in ages, in absolute ages. Don't pass out, man. Don't pass out. Look at that. Anyways, one of the things that I've always wanted to do is to kind of do more of like a real life, real world type Punisher, right? My favorite Punisher that has been from current selections, I would say this is kind of current selections thus far, that has been mass produced. I would have to say I'd start with this one here, this Punisher here, and then I'd move to this one, and then this one happens to be one of my favorite because he's more subdued. He's more what I would envision a Punisher looking like, right? This is great for comic books, a great comic book representation. This is great for just kind of to put it bluntly, a mishmash that they kind of put together of a Warzone looking Punisher there. Still looks, to me, he looks okay. He doesn't, I know a lot of people poo-pooed this one, but I think he looks okay. I think he looks, not bad. This version right here. Let me see if I can adjust. Ever since I bought this new iPhone, it really, I don't know. My old one seems to have been better with the capturing the stuff. Anyways, so like I said, third, second, first. But then I've always wanted to make a larger scale or my own type of Punisher, right? What would he look like realistically to me? And to me, a Punisher would have to be... So number one, Punisher takes on big guys, right? Punisher takes on a bunch of fights, and he takes on superheroes sometimes. He takes on, our web crawler up there, super powered beings. So to me, if you give me this Punisher, look at those little scrawny arms. Look at that. Come on, man. you come on. I would imagine a Punisher has got to be jacked. I mean, he's got to be jacked, juiced up, like swole. This one is starting to get there because he's big and he's strong. This one's okay just because he's just really well articulated and stuff. And he's not super wimpy, but he's still... You got to be swole to take as much punishment and as much beatings as the Punisher is going to take. You need to be ripped, man. And so when I saw this one, he became, my favorite after all these other ones and previous ones. So the Punisher wouldn't be walking out there, I don't think realistically easily identifiable, right? So to me, the one thing that I gave him that he could use, and, might put it on later for him, probably end it with this picture, but I did give him this. A little custom bandana he could put on his face there so that he'd still have a skull if he wanted to. And it doesn't seem out of place, right? It doesn't seem bananas. And so you got to have body armor. So he would have body armor. You got to have weapons. You got to have the ability to reach out and touch someone. You got to have a sidearm. And you just got to be kitted up to go out there and take on some bad guys and subdued, right? So... I like Barenthal's Punisher, don't beat me up too much, but sometimes I find him a little whiny. I mean, yes, he struggles with some damage and stuff. I get it. But Punisher, I don't think, you guys can correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think I've ever seen him whine that much, except for his family. He does have a very, very soft spot for, who doesn't, for his family. Armor, weapons. Oh, the one thing that I did also is I absolutely detest it when we don't get slings for our weapons, right? So I'll put a sling on all of his weapons. Come on. I really don't like it when they don't put slings on them. What good soldier doesn't have a sling on his weapon? Number one, to carry it. Number two, for stability. Some soldiers even use it for stability when shooting. Anyways, and then also I wanted to give him some soft goods to, how does Chef Gordon or Chef Ramsay say it? To elevate. That's why I like him, because I elevated him with this, trench coat. Just that trench coat, that soft goods trench coat takes him to another level. That's all you got. If you just get this guy a trench coat and he goes to another level. So I had to give him a shirt, those pants, and these pants actually caused me a lot more customization than I thought I was going to have to do. And you guys saw that. What else? Yeah. Oh, last thing I want to talk about before we get deep into the customization and kind of just go through it. You guys saw some of it and some of the struggles. And we'll go through the articulation of it. And we'll even, take some of the armor off, and you can see what's underneath it. His articulation improves greatly when it doesn't have armor. But paint rub. One of the things I don't care. Here's the thing. I don't care how daggum good you are at customizing. If you paint a figure and the best you can do is paint it and then seal it. And I guarantee you it'll still rub off. So what I try to do is I try not to paint. This one couldn't be avoided. And it's in a horrible spot because look, these gloves, eventually I'm going to get some paint rub there. And, the best you could do is just touch it up every once in a while. It's going to happen. I don't care how good you are. I don't care how much you say it does. It's going to. And the reason I tell you this is, think about it. Even toys that are mass produced that have the tempo stuck on them, it rubs off. And that's professional industrial grade stuff. You don't think that some cheap acrylic is going to rub off? Come on, man. So, that's the one thing I would advise you not to do. Try to paint as little as possible where there's going to be constant rubbing, because that's not going to work out. It's just going to drive you crazy. Or you could just put them in a museum pose and just leave them, right? What else? So, you guys saw, I used the Crossbones figure here, soft goods underneath this, soft good pants. I reused his feet. And actually, I want to give a shout out to Shadow. This is going to be cool. This Crossbones has actually been overseas. What started out as a Crossbones, this Punisher has been to Iraq. So he's been out there. And Shadow, anyways, I hope you don't mind, but Shadow sent me some fodder, and here he is. This is what he turned into, and I was overjoyed by doing this. I just had a tremendous amount of fun doing it, and it was great. I used Voodoo's legs at the bottom. You wouldn't believe how tough it is. He keeps passing out. Do you need help, buddy? You wouldn't believe how hard it is to separate these. I mean, you have really, now, number one, I did it with a heat gun. You got to be real careful. I'm not one to boil the figures. I've never liked it, but some of you guys can. You achieve the same thing, but I don't like to boil them. But if you do use a heat gun like I do, you got to keep the heat gun moving around to spread the heat evenly, and pay very close attention to the plastic. You don't want to get it. I mean, there's a perfect spot, a perfect temperature where it's not malleable, or where it's malleable enough, but it's not, gonna just completely fall out, right? So make sure you are careful with the heat gun. So I painted this. I gave him a custom head sculpt. I think, although this looks like Jane Thomas, or who was it, that one Punisher? That's kind of what I was going for. It's been a while since I've seen that Punisher movie. I think that's a Dr. Doom head, I think. This is, painted this. I got these soft goods from online. I added some details on Crossbones. I added some additional details up here and up here. Just some hits of silver and stuff on it. just to bring out more a 3D depth. What else? Yeah, the soft good pants came from online. His boots, and this weapons holster was from a little store online. I actually had this for 5 or 6 years, and I just never got around to using it, but it was a perfect opportunity to use it, so I just used it. Anyways, let's put him in his alternate mode. He does have a different mode to where if you want to have a more classic look, and we'll do that in just a second. All right, so here he is in his alternate form. I mean, you could take his, so I wanted to reuse this vest. Unfortunately, Hasbro makes it to where you cannot take this vest off unless you pop all this crap off of him, or you could just make an incision right here, cut right here, and then add some Velcro there and some Velcro here. Or is it Velcro there and Velcro here? So when you put it back on them, you can just Velcro it back together. Just like that. It's done. Velcroed. So, well, the other thing I'm going to tell you is that you may have to make a little bit of it. If the glue doesn't hold, you may have to sew it into here, sew it in place. If you don't know how to sew, well, maybe if you join the Army. You're going to ask me, well, how did the Army teach you to sew? Well, there's one of the many things you learn in the Army is how to fix your own uniform if you're out in the field. You're given a sewing kit. Anyways, so here he is. Let's go over there's his Punisher shirt looking Punisher-y. There he is. I think the soft goods look great on it. He retained all of his movement. He can... Here, let's do this. Double jointed, pinless. Just kidding. His head moves just like a regular Marvel head. He does his own thing there. He's got a T-pose. Let's do the T-pose. There you go. T-pose. He can do everything he can do, right? He's got a cut at here. These are Crossbones arms. He's everything that Crossbone. Now his legs, he's even got a crunch here. Look at that. You got a pretty good crunch out of that. And back. So you can get a pretty good crunch out of it. Not only that, here's his, he's got his legs, double jointed, Here, let's see. Still kind of tight, man. There we go. Come on. Brother Voodoo. I guess that's as far as Brother Voodoo's legs go. Yeah, that's it. They're double jointed, but that's as far as Brother Voodoo's legs go. Anyways, 1 second. All right, so ultimately, yeah, that's about how far he goes back. He goes forward. He kicked pretty good there. Now, one of the best points of articulation, boot cut. The boot cut works. You guys saw how I did that. Nothing, mysterious or anything about that. So there we go. That's my Punisher. I did a bunch of little weapons that came with it. I don't know I think this is the Valaverse weapon. If you guys want to check this out. Where's the other one? Just a bunch of other weapons. Most of these, the knife comes with what Crossbones came. This is another Valaverse gun, I think. Yeah, that's it. So, guys, thank you so much for watching. Appreciate every single one of you. If you have any more questions on the figure or what I did to get it to look a certain way or do a certain thing, just ask me in the comments below. I still read a bunch of the comments, and I'll be glad to, try to answer as much as I can for you. So here, let's just have a size comparison real quick. I think I already did that, but just real fast, back to back. I think most everybody has maybe this Punisher, because if you're a Punisher fan, that's the one you got. I think mine is a little bit taller. So I wonder how tall this guy is over here compared to him. Let's see. Let's stretch his legs out. One of my favorite Punishers. Yeah, he's a little bit taller still. Just by a hair. So, guys, let me know what you think. Did you like this new custom? Do you like me kind of walking you through some of these things? No 3D printing, except for these guns. I guess, you know, I mean, these guns are... No, this one is not 3D printed. This is actually... this is... I think, no, this is the right way. I thought I had it in backwards there for a minute. This is from Valiverse, so it's not 3D printed. Some of these might be from Gridiron, but I don't think they are. I think most of them come from Valiverse and Hasbro and Gridiron. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget, I will be at the Metroplex Collectibles Toy Show. You know what? I'm thinking I might make it a monthly thing to do a giveaway either online or at the show for the Metroplex show. It was really fun giving away a crystal ball last time we were at the Metroplex show. So yeah. Yeah, again, let me know how you like the custom. Let me know if you are going to try one yourself. You guys said you wanted one that was a little harder. There you go. Yeah. You know what I might do too? The other thing I might do is, but again, I don't like coloring. The thing about doing the painting of all this is that you're going to get some paint rub. You just will. Even if you dye it, you're going to get some rub. And, you know, you're going to end up putting them in a museum pose, can't move anymore. That's it. So, again, I don't care how good you are, how many years, you're going to get paint rub. Not even the Tempo paint stays on. So, from Hasbro or from the industrial factory. So, I don't care how good you are, it's still going to rub. And so that's why my pro tip to you is only paint where it's absolutely necessary and you couldn't find another part in black, or if you do paint it, just understand you're going to have to go back and touch it up. All right, guys, that's all I got. Thank you so much for watching. Appreciate every single one of you. Let me know some feedback below if you liked it or not. Special thanks to the members. Their input, generosity, guidance, and engagement allow this big old nerd to bring you guys better content. If you're enjoying the customs, if you're enjoying the hunts, if you're enjoying the news, if you're enjoying the shenanigans that we do at this show, the toy hunts, why not like, why not subscribe? Worst that can happen is you can meet me at the Metroplex Collectibles Toy Show and get yourself a free crystal ball. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. As long as you guys keep watching, I'll keep rolling these shenanigans out.